Alright, welcome to another video. This one is about fractions, decimals, and percent. And we're answering the question, how do you convert between a percent, decimal, and or a fraction? Okay, the way we look at this is like a triangle. Okay, we're working with decimals, percents, and fractions. By the end of this video, you should know the steps to go from, say, a decimal to a fraction and back, a decimal to a percent and back, or a percent to a fraction and back. Or if you, for example, wanted to, you could go from a percent to a decimal to a fraction instead of going straight from a percent to a fraction. So all these are related, and we're about to see how. So let's start with decimals and fractions. So if I want to go from a decimal to a fraction, what I need to do is say the decimal like a teacher, or in other words, say it the proper way. All right? So if you see 0.25, for example, you would think that's 25 hundredths, so 25 over 100. Then to go the other direction, fraction to a decimal, you would use long division. Remember, top dog gets the house. So what does that mean? We divide the top by the bottom. So inside your division house goes the top number, and the bottom one goes on the outside. Okay, now the other direction, decimals and percents. So if we have a percent and we're trying to get two decimals, right, the steps we take is take off the percent sign and move the decimal 2 times to the left. Okay, this is what we looked at yesterday. If we move the decimal to the left 2 places, and then we remove the decimal place, we can go from percent to a decimal. So it almost looks like the number gets smaller, but keep in mind, these are equivalent. It's just now we're going from a percent to a decimal. And then to go from decimal to percent, same idea, except move the decimal 2 times to the right. Whoops, I forgot. Up here with the left is divide by 100. Okay, and then we move it 2 times to the right. It's like multiplying by 100. Okay, because some books and some teachers talk about it doing this way. Multiplying and dividing by 100. Okay, so fractions and percent. To go from percents to fractions, we take off the percent sign and write the number as a fraction over 100. And remember, percent is per 100, and then we simplify if needed. Okay, then to go from a fraction to a percent, multiply to make the bottom 100. So in other words, we're like scaling up. Or you can go from the fraction to the decimal to the percent. So like I said, if you are in the fractions, you can go up to the decimals, dividing the top by the bottom, and then moving the decimal place over to get to the percent. So you can completely skip this step if you want by going around 3 different ways. Or 2 steps, I mean. Okay, so hopefully this is somewhat helpful. If you fill out this guide, use it as a resource in case you forget how to go from one to the other. Just think through, okay, what corner am I trying to get to and which corner am I going from, and then follow the arrows in whatever step it says on the arrows. And it should help you get to the correct answer. Thanks for watching. Bye.